especially when someone is the enemy of the intelligence agencies. With Trump, that's absolutely the case. Trump set himself up against the intelligence agencies. He did it openly and he did it brazenly. And a lot of people think it's very dangerous. Like, the intelligence agencies are very important. You know, you want to find out what's going on in other countries. You want to find out what the threats to America are. You want to find out what terrorist activities are going to be taking place and stop them before.
And, you know, JFK had his problem with the intelligence agencies.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, it's unchecked power, right? That's the deep state. It's unchecked power. And I think Trump was very open about his disdain for the intelligence agencies. He created enemies in the intelligence agencies. It's standard for intelligence agencies in this country to encourage agent provocateurs or to employ agent provocateurs.
And so you're saying when he was in Helsinki and he was saying, I believe Putin more than my intelligence community, that was something the intelligence community was like, we're going to get him.
Well, I think they were going to get him in any way that they could because he's an enemy of the intelligence agencies. And he was openly talking about them being incompetent and being corrupt. And he fired Comey, and, he was against the FBI. And, look, it's a very dangerous thing. You talk to people that are in intelligence agencies. Like, it's a very dangerous thing for a president to be at war with the intelligence agencies and to do it so publicly. And I think it's without a doubt, when you have a gigantic, massive protest that a lot of people think is a threat to democracy, you have these people that are saying the election was rigged and they're on the Capitol lawn, they're screaming and yelling. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that they would encourage people to do things that were unlawful. Instead of peacefully protesting, which is what everybody was doing on the outside, which is totally legal, to take that and escalate it to entering into the Capitol. Now you can lock things down, and now you have real clear evidence that this president is responsible for this insurrection attempt, and this is dangerous. This is a threat to our democracy, and he's never going to be president again. We're going to indict him. We're going to go after him. We're going to do all these different things. I think it's not like there's a lot of shenanigans going on both sides. It's not like a clear cut, like he shouldn't have done that and they should have done this. It's like there's a lot of fuckery, and there's a lot that's been going on throughout history. Whenever people have unchecked power and unchecked influence, and they have enemies, and Trump was their enemy.
Yeah, but I just, and I'm not saying that there isn't, it's kind of like.
Did you see the hearings when they were grilling the FBI as to whether or not they had intelligence agencies there? Or
whether I probably saw some of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because instead of saying, no, we don't do that, that's illegal, they said, we can't answer that.
Yeah, but I think even, and again, I'm not saying that there isn't corruption on both sides, but like in the end, for me personally, it's like when people complain about Biden's, age or his cognitive decline or whatever, I'm like, the alternative to me is not acceptable.
The alternative being Donald Trump.
Yes.
And what's least acceptable about that, as opposed to Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and all the corrtion that we know for sure happened with them?
I think, look, Joe Biden's relationship with his son or, who obviously struggles with addiction. I mean, look, half of our friends struggle with addiction. It's like, he's a compassionate father. Is there some of that, like, let's make some money with our influence after we left office, or even
during office, when he was
even
vice
when
president.
we were senator or stuff like that? Is there some of that? Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of that.
But compared to Trump, compared to like Jared getting a $2 billion contract, compared to like, like even the documents, like the documents that like Biden had or Pence had, versus like Trump literally showing the documents, some of them being I think we're going to find out, being really inconsequential. I'm not saying he was selling them. I'm not saying, I don't know if he was, it was like a big swinging dick move. I think that's different than, Pence having some documents in his house that he shouldn't have. But
you mean Pence or Biden?
Pence had documents.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's
documents.
really concentrating on Pence.
But like by the way, I do want to make clear that I do have the approach of like I could find something out and be like, all right, but like there is part of me that's like, it's very little doubt in my mind that Trump is the most corrupt and was like just the it's not like Andrew Jackson was like did horrible things, but like I don't begrudge someone having kind of like kick ass and take no prisoners kind of attitude. It's it's not the style. It's just I think that there's repeated corruption. I mean, like
but there's repeated corruption with the Biden administration. The corruption with his son. First of all, his son struggling with addiction. That's not my concern. I mean, it sucks. It sucks if you have a kid that's hooked on crack and is a fucking complete disaster, and he pulls himself out of it. Congratulations for him. That's not what It's the corruption. It's the clear influence by foreign agents and foreign.
You don't think Trump has more corruption?
I don't think there's evidence the same way that there's evidence right now because of the laptop and because of the recorded conversations. There's real evidence that they were getting money from other countries.
What about Trump University? What about his fundraising things?
No. I'm not saying that he's clean. I'm not saying that he's clean, but I'm saying to dismiss the Biden
corruption. But you
corruption.
think that Biden's way more guilty of corruption than Trump?
I'm not saying that.
You're saying they're equal.
I'm saying they're both corrupt. And I'm saying that to say that Biden is like the good, that was like what everybody thought when he got into office. Finally, the adults are in the room now. But that's not really true. And nothing really changed that much once they got in there. It's not it's not like what everybody would like. There's a good guy and a bad guy. I think there's two bad guys. And I think there's corruption that exists in big business and in government that is on a scale that we probably would get violently ill if we found out the actual numbers and what really is going on in terms of influence and how decisions get made and about how certain people become immune to prosecution and certain people become
Jeffrey Epstein.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot. The Epstein thing is fucking nuts. It's nuts that they put that woman in jail for sex trafficking to no one. Who are the people? There's no list. You have no idea. There's no disclosure.
List, right?
But the fact that no one's asking for that and the people that were involved in these crimes have never been brought to justice or even discussed. And it's just something that just gets swept under the table. There's no outcry.